Welcome to Tough Crowd. There's a lot of tension in the world right now. Forget about the war in Iraq, Al-Qaeda, rogue states with nuclear bombs. I'm talking about Ruben and Clay, two Southern belles that have united our country. Ari Fleischer left his job yesterday, the stress. Christine Whitman left the EPA, the stress. Does Clay quit? No. Does Ruben quit? No. You don't think they both had hard times? You don't think Ruben walking to school, he's little, all the kids, fat boy, kicking him and stuff, you know? And Clay, I found out, was the first kid to get gay bashed in preschool, ever. Now look, but they are the face of America. Everything is interracial, as it should be, but there are still racial problems. One of them, in fact, is sitting behind the couch in a Len Dawson throwback. I'm kidding, but if I was you, I would have thrown that one back. Come on, folks. All right. Look, there's a lot of pressure for successful black people because they have to worry about being perceived as sellouts by their own people. So if you talk like this, all your people make fun of you for acting white. But have you seen the way white people act lately? They're like, yo, what's up? So pretty soon if you're black and you walk up to your friends like, yo, what's up? They're going to go, stop trying to act white. What do you mean it's all right? It was great. You'd love to steal that one. Hey, what is this, the blood side of the room? You guys are... All right, look. A new stat came out that the gap between the rich and the poor is, of course, on the rise, and among blacks it's even the same now as whites. Now, is this affecting the black community more than it affects the white community because of the perception of unity and sticking together?
Yes.
Patrice?
Yes, it is affecting a certain amount of black people. But me, I mean, being that I'm a rich black American, I'm trying to race away from these poor blacks as fast as my caddy will take me.
But even the fact
right, Rudy? Aren't we rich blacks trying to do that?
No, we're not talking.
I wish I was rich.
Just the fact that you have a red caddy tells me you're never really going to get away. At best, you'll be ghetto fabulous, but you're never going to be like...
That's the whole point.
You're never going to have the brownstone in Fort Greene and be walking
so
like
what,
the lights. I'm just trying to tell you.
And you know, why is that acting white, though? Why is...
Don't blame me. You're the ones that say it's acting white.
And you're saying it. That's your topic.
Well, but I did not say it. I said because of the obvious truth that among black people, if you talk like a white person, they go, oh, you're white, you're white.
What's like a white person? This is what, that's the arrogance of white people. What is like a white person? Using the right words? Correct speech?
Are you pretending?
Like a white person?
Are you pretending? After all these years in comedy,
yes.
That black people don't always go like, well, here's the white guy walking like this. That's what a white guy does.
That's what white guys do.
No, you say this is a white guy. This suit right here.
Yes.
How did I get involved in this race show?
See?
What did I do?
What did I do to you? He's the white guy in the chick. Yeah, he's the white guy. Exactly. Look at the way
I grew up in a black neighborhood.
Where?
What? Yeah, well, I had a black person who lived across the street from us.
Is that who you bought your Coke from?
No. No. I lived across the street from Cab Calloway.
I'm playing, Kevin. Jesus Christ.
Cab Calloway, I lived across the street.
All right, let the Crips talk for a second, boys. Go ahead.
I don't think rich black people should be held responsible for, you know, the plight of other black people. Once you reach a certain level of success, it's just natural to move on. I mean, if that wasn't the case, Politically Incorrect would still be on in this time slot.
No, I totally disagree with that. I think black people should take care of, the rich black people should have or feel some responsibility for all the poor white people. We have a problem. We haven't had good black leaders since Public Enemy broke up.
But we really see, that's another thing though, black people don't really...
Please pretend we as if you're rich. Please. Stop it. Stop it.
I got a couple of hundred in the bank. I'm 100-air, and that counts. Black people really don't have a leader. Our leaders are appointed to us by somebody. We don't vote for our leaders.
Al Sharpton is one of your leaders.
We didn't vote for him. We just decided to be one.
He's your leader.
You got
No, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you something right now.
And he's going to be the president.
Wait a minute, Kevin. Al Sharpton is not our leader. Let me tell you something. Black people ain't vote for nobody with no perm. I'm sorry.
That's right. I'll tell you exactly what it is. You guys are playing innocent, and I'm damn getting mad. You know Al Sharpton, the only reason you like him is because he irritates us the most. That's how you decide who's a leader. Whoever pisses us off the most. Thank you. So let's call it the way it is.
We just called it the way it was.
Homeschooling has become a fast-growing phenomenon. My doorman Steve has a theory on what's wrong with the schools today. Let's listen to him for a second.
When I had to go to school, I had to read the whole book, or a half the book, or 3/4 of the book, just to pass the exam, or study it, or a book report. Today, they got the textbook, they got the answers on the question behind the book, and they still fail. So I don't know what's going on with the schooling today, and it looks very bad.
I have to see him every morning. Every morning. How you doing, kid? Not only is there homeschooling, it just used to be like the rural whites, like, you know, Randy Weaver types would homeschool the kids, but now it's big among the black people again. Why do you think there's been such a rise in black preschooling? Rudy.
Well, the reason because the curriculum sucks. And you got third graders that are angry and they're the size of Patrice. So it's like, I'm not sending my kids to that school.
It's true, there's a lot of violence in the schools.
It's violence, that's all it is.
I think it depends upon the individual situation. I mean, some people need homeschooling. Like, you know, like in Patrice's case, he couldn't squeeze out of his bedroom door.
He's really gunning for us,
Yeah,
isn't
it
he?
really is.
I can understand.
He really is shaped like a tampon, and I'm fed up with him.
Well, we're doing homeschooling. I have a daughter. My wife and I, we're doing homeschooling, and we have 2 priests that come over and teach my daughter in the basement.
That's home raised.
Very nice.
No, one of the biggest reasons why black people now are keeping their kids home and teaching them, because they are giving images to their children from their history. And me coming up, we didn't have too much African American.
Please.
No, we didn't have too much African American stuff. I mean, I remember coming up.
You
as
have a
kid.
whole month.
Columbus,
Exactly.
everywhere.
That's the problem. The problem is we have a whole month, the whole year, and everybody knows this. You have the 40
Lincoln
presidents,
freed the slaves
42
too.
presidents up on the board, and then, you know, you have one picture of Martin Luther King in February, and on the 28th they rip it down.
What about the dead presidents? You don't count them?
I understand. That's true. That's it. That's because
Listen to me.
Look, they don't teach anything black in schools these days.
Are you crazy?
You gotta send them to like Kinty Cloth High to get a black, but then you don't get any Kinty Cloth, Mr. Black people. It's that colorful, you know.
Look, I don't care how you live your life, folks. Just don't leave me alone with these people. We'll be right back. Folks, this is the part of the show where we take news stories from lots of different papers and see how far we can go, right?
I like that.
Okay, we call it improv. Some people call it the New York Times. White House Press Secretary Ari Fleischer has announced he'll be leaving his post in July. The official reason, of course, is that he's tired, blah, blah, blah. Let's face it, we're just trying not to provoke the Arabs. I mean, Ari Fleischer, why don't we just have a picture of Muhammad up there eating a pork chop, for Christ's sakes, huh? It's a little too Jewish. Anybody?
Yeah, I mean, I really feel bad for it. It's like, how are we going to replace a guy who says whatever he wants to say, the best ever? No, wait. What the hell did I just say? He's the best.
You're the new candidate for the presidency.
He's the black sellout.
Wait a minute. He's the best person that says what he's told to say ever. And we're going to miss him. That makes no sense at all, does it?
Anybody?
It makes sense to me for some weird
It was
reason.
funny,
I don't know
but
why.
it had to follow the first part, and that was the problem.
Damn.
All right, let's talk about this then. Tongue splitting. This is like the new thing. They slit the tongue like that.
Oh, I like that.
The kids today. Yeah. They say it's more snake-like. What do you guys think? It's kind of hot.
I think Patrice should have it done. That way he can eat quicker.
I think, well, they do a lot of crazy stuff. The tongue piercing was kind of far. Now this is taking it a little bit too extreme. I mean, to me, it looks like Satanism in a crazy kind of way.
I like it. I think, you know, my grandmother, she used to have a plate in her mouth.
Did she?
Yeah.
Back in Ireland?
Back in Ireland. They had actually come from Africa. And that tradition continued, and a lot of the Meanies had plates, saucers in their lips, you know, big plates, you know.
As a way of breaking down Iraqi POWs, this is the next story since we're on a roll. U.S. officials are playing Metallica and Barney. Now, come on.
What's the source? Because this sounds like totally ridiculous.
Yeah, like how many torture techniques did they go through before they figured out Barney was the way to go? You know? Hopefully that was, you know, before the testicle clamps. You know?
Right. But after, like, you know, Peter Cetera and, you know.
Well, the Metallica, I mean, that's actually a good thing. The safest place to be during a terrorist attack would probably be at a Metallica concert. You know?
That's right.
They're not going to come anywhere near them.
No, the safest place is to be in Harlem, because y'all think the terrorists is looking for us. They looking for y'all asses.
Oh, you guys want to jump ship, huh? All right. A new study shows. All right. A new study shows. You want to jump ship? All right. A new study shows that 1 in 5 girls under 15 years old has had sex, and 1 in 7 has been pregnant. Wow. That's pretty sick.
Who those 4 blocks? What do you got?
I think the Spice Girls started it. Those English hookers turned out our 10-year-olds with their stupid lunchboxes. The lunchbox campaign is what happened.
But that's biological. If you can have a baby at 13 or 14, that's real.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm an older father, so I want to be a grandfather earlier.
Yeah, I'll see what you're doing.
You know, so
it started.
He's going to be opening up on the R. Kelly tour.
You know, so, no, I just had a baby, you know, and thank God, because I had frozen my sperm years ago. And not that I want to get into that, yeah, but I did.
The number of fall television shows starring minorities has nenever been higher. Whoopi Goldberg's the first black lead on a sitcom, NBC in 5 years. What do we say about this?
There's always been blacks. I mean, the WB, there's more blacks in the WB than on Thomas Jefferson's plantation, for Christ's sake.
I love that sitcom, Julia. You know, that was good. That was a good show.
We had Jim David on here one time, and that's still the oldest thing I've ever heard on the show.
It really is.
Jeez, I'm the only one that remembers that.
Julia.
These people I'm 90. These people are 20.
Wasn't there a black show that followed Uncle Buck?
That was Kevin's canceled show. Uncle Buck.
It's like 10-year-olds in the
But they appreciated, I think they appreciated the meanness of the spirit of that one.
No, I love
He's attacking Uncle Buck.
No, and WB doesn't even have black shows.
No, it doesn't.
No, you know what? The trend was they would all build their stations up on the black shows, and then they get rid of us, and they all be all on UPN.
Yes.
You guys are living in a damn dream
No,
world.
we're not. That's what they
They
did.
built it on Fresh Prince, Cosby, the WB had something.
I guess it really must be.
That's what they did.
I guess it must be amazing to live in this kind of world where everything we do is evil and everything you do is
Why do
good.
you always say we? Colin, you're white. You're not white. You're not the white man. You're a potato eating.
No, he's
cabbage boiling nothing. You're poor like us.
he's Eminem, man.
The average, he's Eminem.
You're the blacks of Europe.
Are you really black?
blacks of Europe.
The blacks of Europe.
We have to get off this thing. The average American watches 135,000 commercials a year. You don't want to fall behind, do you? So I don't know why I did an Italian accent. We'll be right back. Well, you know what? When Iraq fell, hundreds of ancient treasures were stolen from the Museum of Antiquities in Baghdad. Yes, I don't know what that is either. All right, leave me alone. The plundering of one of the world's greatest collection of artifacts is a terrible tragedy. But luckily, there's some good news. Several newer pieces of art were saved, pictures that were kept by Saddam Hussein in his own private quarters. Here are those pictures. These are the real replicas of art found in Saddam's safe houses. Tonight we'll look a little deeper into these pieces from the Saddam collection, and here to help me is an art consultant and my neighbor, yes, and she knows Steve too, Avis Cardella. Avis, thank you. Hi, Avis. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Okay, this first piece is a lovely oil on canvas. First of all, I'm interested in that. Is that like a postage U.S. mail thing up there? What is that?
I don't know what that is, but I can speak to the other aspects of the other elements of this painting. I'll tell you, it's not Picasso, but it's an example of something that is called fantasy art, and it's used on album covers and book covers and things like that, and it tends to be popular with adolescent boys.
Adolescent boys, so you're saying Saddam might be an Arrested Development.
That's a possibility, yeah.
It's interesting, too, because Saddam, you know, he had a lot of problems with his family, and this looks like, to me, you know, I wouldn't say a castration complex, but that damn, whatever it is trying to bite him right there, isn't he?
I don't see that, but
Okay, let's move on then. Apparently, you know, this is our next item. It's a marvelous little piece of work. You know, obviously very cleverly disguised. Brilliant. Now, this is not Picasso either, is it?
No, this isn't.
I don't want to make a mistake, you know.
But this has interesting aspects of what is referred to when people buy these paintings. They usually like to relate to them as role-playing. I don't know if Saddam relates to the Fabio character, to the buxom babe, or to the Shrek guy in the back, but, you know, whatever moves you.
But let me ask you something. He's the sword trying to slay the snake or the dragon to get the hot girl, and the evil... Isn't that kind of a hack thing? Like, isn't that everybody could do that from like 100 years ago? It's kind of an old move, isn't it?
You mean
the whole idea of slaying this?
Well, yeah, it's an old fantasy. I mean, Freud would have a field day with this, but
yeah.
But
I'll tell you why it's a good artist, because they got the shadows. I always forget those.
Yeah.
Now let me just ask you, this is totally off the cuff, Avis.
Yeah.
If you were at an art gallery show, you saw a guy like me, but well, if I had my glasses, you saw me, maybe I'm just standing here looking like this in the picture. Would you be attracted to me and say, oh, that guy's kind of cool? Just pretend you don't know me.
With the thumb in the mouth?
All right, no. Can I just walk away like deeply affected, thinking about it?
Okay.
Okay, how about this little thing, huh?
Yeah, this is another one where we might examine the role-playing aspect. I think the militaristic garb of the woman, I wonder perhaps if that isn't sort of like a way to transcend one's own sexuality. And
talking about me?
No.
Oh, Saddam, sorry. I get nervous.
I'm talking about the owner of the painting.
Yes.
What he might feel.
Oh, the owner.
Yeah.
And what about the snow? It doesn't snow in Iraq, does it?
No, I don't think so.
No, I didn't think so either. What do you think this is? Do you think this is like the subconscious of Saddam? Or do you think this is his mother when he was little? You never know, folks. You never know. Thanks to Avis Cardella. Thank you to Avis Cardella. These pictures give us new insight. Thank you, darling.
I'm not sure to go.
No, that was good.